it's a control factor. There's command and control, right?
Yeah.
Where it's top down, do as I do, don't do as I say,
Yeah.
or wait, do as I say, don't do as I do, kind of practice. Sorry, I got that backwards. But that shift that we're seeing, and we are seeing it because that's where the tsunami, that is at the root of the tsunami, really, is the belief that, oh, I can go somewhere else and I can find what it is that I'm looking for, whether it's recognition, whether it's my strengths being used and utilized. But it's that command and control, that rigidness, which is not allowed, both. And I guess what I'm also saying here is both from an organizational perspective, but also from a personal level. There's a personal aspect there that needs to be met as well, right? At the core element of the business are the people, right? And at the core element of those people are, strengths and opportunities. I'll call them opportunities. And so, if you can put somebody into a role where they can actually use and perform and excel, right, in that space, then you've pretty much met that personal aspect. Now, of course, life happens, right? Things occur that we can't control, right? But that's again, that goes back to that control and conquer kind of mentality, command and control, and that aspect needs to adjust. The realization needs to be that, yes, it's not just our people are our business, it's the person. Right. If you can energize one person, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but you have somebody who may be on a work team or within an organization that is in a great mood. You always enjoy being around that person. There's just something you can't put your finger on it, but there's just something there. I mean, that positively affects others around that person. Right? You can't deny that.
It affects so much. I even tell my clients, like, listen, your employees are your largest advertisement to your talent acquisition and your recruiting. That's the number one advertisement that you have out there, and it's free. If you nurture them in a kind and effective way, they'll sing the praises of the organization all day long, and you'll have talent flocking to you, because we don't have a talent shortage. We do not have a talent shortage. And you can go in Bureau of Labor Statistics and see how many people are not applying for jobs and not applying for unemployment. You could do that yourself. But
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, over 8 million. So we don't have a talent shortage.
People are consciously choosing to leave the workforce.
They are.
They're consciously choosing. I saw another. I'm always looking at statistics, right? And so 52% is the latest number, right? 52% of the American workforce. We're not just talking in one section of the country or any. 52% of the American workforce right now is in transition. That means they're out actively looking, okay, for their next role to be able to relieve whatever pain that may be. Okay, from my perspective, basically. It starts with an awareness, right? If I know what my strengths are and I can understand that, and I can say, okay, I'm good at certain skill set, but I've got somebody else on my team who is better at another skill set that I'm not so good at. Okay. If we're able to figure out a way to be able to work in tandem, or even better than that, we can figure out a way to be able to communicate with each other.
Yeah,
right.
Let's just start with communication.
Well, there's a fear again. Yeah. There's a fear there, right? Me as the manager, if I don't have the capability to be able to point to something other than, oh, it's just my feelings. My feelings got hurt. I mean, yeah, that gets discounted so quickly, right? But it is at the core basics of this ideal, right? That I'm not as good as you. From that perspective.
So then, instead of people say, that's what is that? The behavioral health when it comes to imposter syndrome, which I have certainly suffered from that, even when we started out on the podcast. Because you get in situations and with people, and they make you feel, when they start questioning your motives and everything, your resume, you're like, I don't know, is this a lie? Am I? And when you have a talent acquisition where you've rejected so many people over and over and over again, we employers have created this. We have created this new culture and dynamic in our labor market, which has been we don't trust the employer anymore. And several years ago, and so
That's a good point.
I will go off on a tangent, but we caused this. We caused this 52%.
Totally.
This didn't just happen.
No.
This is not laziness from the labor market. This is not laziness from employees and people not wanting to work. This is not because there's been an overabundance of government funding that has come in and people to keep people not working. Trust has been broken.
Majority. Yep. For the majority of people, which is kind of sad.
It goes down to that whole thing. It's like this whole egoic leadership anymore that it's like
Very
this
much so.
fear and we're out of control. And I want to tell those leaders a lot of times, like, where's your grit? Where's your grit to have the critical conversations? You talk about grit in the sense that you're going to go grow the business and you're going to do all this stuff and blah, 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 business development, sales. But it's like, where's your grit to have the critical conversation? Let me tell you something with these HR. Oh, I'm going to go off. This is what I'm going to get into, Rob. About these new emerging human resources professionals and the ones that we have out there in the trenches of it. They do have the grit. Because they're having those critical conversations every day when somebody comes into their office and says, I was harassed, or this is happening, or I was passed up for this promotion yet again. What is going on?
But how many times can you do that before you just kind of throw your hands up in the air?
52%. That's how many times.
Right.
I'm fucking
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Or even worse, physical. There's physical manifestation of that, right? There's. I mean, just talking about burnout all into itself. There's an overload. I mean, the human brain can. There is a such thing as overload. The human brain can only process through so much, at one point in time to be able to do that. And again, all of this, all of the stuff that we're talking about is a distraction away from the original intent, right, of hiring somebody, which is to get them to perform, an objective, right? And so, yes, I will say that the human nature of things, right? You can hire somebody based upon skills, right? But there's so much more that comes with that individual, right? That needs to be walked through. And if a manager who doesn't have the skills to be able to step into that doesn't, that's where we've ended up is over time. I think there's just been so many people who have been hands off the wheel, just kind of, I'm not going to deal with this.
I'm not going to nurture that.
I'm not going to find out why you're even looking for another job. Like the problem can't be me. The problem has to be you.
It's you.
Right. And so
you got issues.
Then
you're
that's
not happy,
left.
Go figure it
right.
out.
So now this person is again traumatized even more, to be able to, and I'm not saying in all cases, right, that it's always like that. But for a vast majority of them, yeah, the skill set, the time, right? We don't have the time has now turned into this, there's been a lack of respect from people's perspectives. And it's, we're of one breed. You're not of another. You're not perfect enough. You're not, you don't meet the level of expectation societally that we put in there business wise. It's almost kind of like there's no crying in baseball. Well, there's no crying in business. There's no emotion that's supposed to be there whatsoever. It's just supposed to be, white and black. Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there that are going, dude, I love colors. I love painting in colors. I love being able to kind of, what if I didn't do it exactly this way?
Will you allow me to use my creativity?
What if I didn't? Yeah. Well, but even more, an example of what we're seeing now, the manifestation of that is that working remotely, right, is now is being added to the benefits package, right? So offers that are coming through are in the expectation of those 52% of people who are looking for something better, right? My wife and I were actually talking about this the other morning where. Working 100% of the time remotely or 100% of the time in the office, that's the same thing. It's the same drudgery that I have every single morning. I have to get up. I have my schedule. I get up. I got my routine. Go get a shower. Get the kids together. Get them out the door. Go drop them off. Then I go to my job all day, and I'm focused on my job all day long. And then I do it in reverse to come home. Well, that's no different really than, okay, I'm working from home. Okay, so I get up in the morning, go through my routine, I have my thing where I get the kids out the door, I come home, then I'm focused on my computer all day long. Then I,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking with, I'm taking calls, I'm on Zoom calls, I'm going through burnout from that perspective. So okay, so what if I change that up? I change that up between Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a Tuesday, Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm working from the office,
Right.
and Tuesday, Thursday, I'm working from home. There's some variety to my day now. There are people out there, right? Their strengths play to I love variety. It's a mass majority, supposedly. So uh, I think that there's that freedom that people are looking for is changing up that rhythm, changing up the monotony
Mm-hmm.
with what it is and the pattern and the cadence, with which they're going about performing their work. That plays very large right now.
And only asking subliminally, unconsciously, or um, passively, aggressively saying it in whatever form, but from your leaders saying like, "Will you please trust me to do my job?" That's it. Will
Hmm.
you please trust me to do my job? Give me the vision, give me the outlook, give me the goals, give me the whatever, and now let me do my job.